The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. And the topic of today's session is Chips for Wearables, when function meets passion. Our guest speaker today is Santosh Shivdatta. He is the Technical Director with Mindtree. He is currently Director and Head VLSI Services at Mindtree. He has more than 17 years of experience in VLSI in developing complex design IPs and SoC development. He led Mindtree's Bluetooth controller IP development program with multiple first-pass silicon to his credit. He thrives in the confluence of VLSI, embedded software and systems, and has specialization in areas of short-range wireless, low-power design. So, without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Santosh.
Good evening, everyone. This is Santosh from Mindtree. I'm leading the VLSI services business here in Mindtree. So today's topic basically is on chips, chip design for variables when function meets passion. So in summary, just to give you a brief overview, this session will cover some ideas about how to take care of chip design considerations when you're designing chips for the wearable market, and a kind of a framework of how do you derive some of these parameters that will influence when you're designing a chip. Let's just start by kind of looking at a very broad definition of what is wearable electronics. Everybody today is talking about wearable electronics. It was the most discussed topic in the CES or the Mobile World Congress that recently concluded. So everybody's talking about wearables and wearable computing and wearable electronics. A very broad definition of wearable electronics is, like the name says, it's electronics that you wear, but it also helps you do two functions. It helps you sense, your environment, your activities, your body parameters, and collect those sensed data and, use that for some processing. And once the data is processed, the second function is to bring back that processed information and, bring it back to you as some alerts or information that you can use. And why do you need to do that? It's just that you want to improve your health, or you want to be able to monitor something so you have an improved productivity. Basically it's basically to improve your lifestyle, so to say. So basically, if you look at today the market for wearables, there are various kinds of functions that today you will see. Activity monitoring. You're a sprinter, you're a jogger, then you would want to monitor how many steps, how many runs you have made, how many kilometers have you run. If you are, under therapy, then you will need some kind of a chronic care. Then you need some kind of monitors, like a blood glucose monitor, to monitor your blood sugar levels, or tracking, tracking your assets, tracking your pets, tracking your kids, or it could even be navigating in a small environment, in an indoor environment. So there are various functions that you can think of that these variables will support. But this is just one degree of diversity. The next degree of diversity, or the second degree of diversity, is in terms of form. Today variables come in various forms. If you look at a body, then you can look at it as a real estate, and you can look at variables in the form of hats, in the form of an earbud or an anklet or a watch. And shirts and shoes, and people are thinking of new ways of putting their electronics on your body, and in various forms and form factors, and that's really again a second degree of diversity that you see in this market. And really the third degree of diversity in this market is about the people. If you look at the diversity, the demography of people, unlike a lot of the use cases that or the products or the market segments that you've seen till today, for example, you take the market for smartphones. Smartphones, it's the same form factor. It's maybe, the length and the breadth is probably slightly here and there, but, it's almost the same form factor. That's not changed for years. Of course, there are a lot of functions that get integrated, but then everybody seems to have the same functions. But unlike any of the market that we have seen till today, this market is going to be driven by people who are, spread out, in terms of, you could have a baby that requires some kind of monitoring. It's a newborn baby and you need some kind of a monitor just to make sure your baby is monitored, when you're in the hospital, to young people, to aged people. For example, my father, for example, may need it to monitor, his blood sugar levels continuously, for example. So there's a whole diverse set of people that will use it. It's so diverse. It's celebrities, it's workers, it's people in corporates, people who are professionals. So you break it in any different way. Everybody has a way to look at it. It's all driven by a self-expression. It's about your individuality. It's about how you express yourself that drives what kind of a wearable. Because people would look at wearables like the way they wear jewelry or anything else. So they would want to look at it as something that kind of represents themselves. So it's kind of a fashion statement. So if you look at this whole diversity that is brought about by various functions that you need to support, the various form factors that are potentially possible, and the kind of the different mindset and different kinds of people that you need to address, suddenly you will realize that wearables is a market that's completely unique. It's never been like this before in any industry or any market segment that you would have seen today. So it's a very diverse, very universal kind of a market. And wearables is about not just looking at individually about function, form, or fashion, but actually it's about bringing all of them together in a fusion way. And somebody who is working in this market should actually be able to combine all of these three together and have a kind of a holistic view of function, form, and fashion to be able to address this market than any other market that we have seen. So really, what is driving this market today? Why is it so popular today? Why is it that it's suddenly become the in thing? If you look at from a technology angle, broadly there are three technologies that kind of have over the years kind of converged, developed, and have come together today to enable this market. The first thing is about the human-machine interface, sensors. The sensors have, now today you get a whole lot of sensors that you can have you can build sensors for, right from, sugar levels to environment to temperature to a whole lot of parameters that you can now today sense. And all of them have become easy to implement and also become low cost. The second converging factor or a technology factor that's come about is computing. It's become cheaper to put in a lot of power into computing in a small area. You have processors like Cortex-M, and the different MIPS and a lot of different processors today which give you a lot of processing power that's required to be able to process a lot of information that you collect from your sensors. And the third technology that's converging is connectivity. So today you have standards like Bluetooth Low Energy or Zigbee, which are becoming standardized and enabling a lot of new products to come in with this connectivity already enabled. And now it's about how do you use that connectivity to enable your wearables market. So all of these three technologies, human-machine interface, computing, and connectivity are converging together to enable this market. And all of them have come to a cost point, and in terms of power, in terms of performance, have really come together today to enable this and drive this whole market. But if you look at all of these are all technologies. But what is really finally what is driving this market? Where is this convergence happening? And if you look at that, there's probably just one single thing that comes to mind that's driving this whole market, and that is these low-cost and low-power microcontroller chips. That's where the convergence of all of these technologies is happening, and that's